Hello, good morning and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denise Agyapong. We begin from politics. The Member of Parliament from Agyapong North, Collins Adomako-Mensah, has assured former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia of overwhelming support from delegates and party faithfuls in the constituency ahead of the NPP's presidential primary scheduled for January 31. The MP said the backing reflects Dr. Bawumia's track record while in government and his appeal among grassroots supporters who see him as the strongest candidate to lead the party into the next general election. Take a listen.
He's the only candidate among the five. Our best guy will have 7 times. He's the only candidate. It's yet so say ye mobi free titia. If you just abre Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia only ni free titia. Ye year oni ye besu. Ye waria ye ni na ye. Enti ye na wa bahaye doctor obefie ya mo akwaba. Na doctor ene emre ni ho. Me delegate wa ha nyina ombedi mi adanse. Ma ba mo na so since 2003. Aka Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho nsem a kire mo saa. Enti enya afei na me ba be ka kire mo se Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia 7 oye economist. Enya na me ba be ka ne ho nsem a kire mo. Enne de yasem a ye ka kire wona e very simple. Doc wakoma to yem. Yasem no ye very very simple. Kan wakoma eto yem. For the past 2 weeks, uso TV bia party mpanyimfo uhu TV so obia sorry a papa yi ni e boneti dog me efida kwa abre ha me se kan wakoma eto yem die amanfo ka efa wo ho dia ye di watam e wo radio so dia ye di watam e wo TV so efida kwa abre ha me se kan wakoma eto yem emohu ensheki ema ore enho on the 31st of January efija kwa abre north yebema wasre what.
Still on the NPP presidential primary, flag bearer hopeful Dr. Yao Seidu has appealed to the party's leadership to remain calm following the decision to initiate formal processes to expel former Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. The move follows comments made by Professor Frimpong Boateng during a television interview in which he described the party as fake and questioned its internal democratic credentials, stating that the 2023 presidential primary was rigged in favor of former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Speaking on News File, Dr. Edichum also urged the former minister to stay calm, expressing optimism that better days lie ahead for the party, particularly if he emerges as its flag bearer.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll appeal to the party leadership to really calm down. In our culture, even age, just mere age, right? That you are older, you should be respected. But you have somebody who has accomplished so much in his life. It's a two-way street. The party gave him a platform, but he also enhanced the party by bringing his expertise to the table. At the time when we were in opposition, a surgeon of his caliber being part of the party was a plus for the party. So even if some words are said that we don't like, we have to find a way to deal with it in such a way that we do not create a situation where he's further vilified through comments by many other people. I will appeal to my brother, older brother, who I really respect. I used to serve as a member of his ministerial advisory board as a deputy minister at the time. And I worked with him closely as a member of his ministerial advisory board. His passion for innovation, for mental issues, and many other things is worthy of commendation. So I appeal to him to also calm down and cool down. Better days are coming. When Dr. Edichum is the flag bearer, we are going to bring parties together.
And with less than 2 weeks to the New Patriotic Party's presidential primary, aspiring camps are stepping up efforts to secure victory. The camp of Kennedy Agyapong has blamed Ghana's current challenges on failures by successive administrations. Speaking at the launch of Politics, Honesty, Discipline, the Agyapong discipline among political leaders has weakened governance and slowed national development.
The motivation in writing this book is to make sure that our posterities, those who are coming, those who will come and meet maybe our dead bodies, will see that there is a day that somebody reset the mind of Ghanaians. We want to develop Ghana. I am from America, or I live in America. I don't want to be there. There is a saying in Akanda, so your question, look at the environment and see whether they are obliging by that. If there's some way patriotic, also say some way patriotic, and patriotic, don't mind and can bring enyesena I say a quota and can so fra anyway send yen so into menum Ghana to hanum so yede yetonsio minyi wo chebi na bra sebre no ye fa bucket ko nsum ya kose so be go hinam ni anom anya hoden and now betimi ayesa yeso nyina say we don't love our country anymore.
Away from politics, Chairperson of the annual Northern Ghana Regular Baptist Churches, Reverend Dr. Timothy Seidu, has called on Ghanaians to embrace tree planting to help restore the country's depleted forest cover. Speaking at the Awa Central Conference, he blamed illegal mining and indiscriminate logging for the destruction of forests and water bodies. Join News' Upper West Region correspondent Rafik Salam reports from Wa.
The annual Northern Ghana Regular Baptist Churches ANGRBC Fellowship, which comprises of 9 churches. ANGRBC Fellowship, which comprises of 9 churches that constitutes the Wa Central Zone, was held in Wa. The 3-day conference was held on the theme Stewardship of the Believer, categorized into 3: stewardship to governance, environment, and their lives. Chairperson of the Wa Central Zone, Pastor Noah Alasan, threw further light on the theme of the conference.
What are the dangers and what are the cautions we have to take? Are we going to be compromising with everything? But it's good. If we are not even going, what can we do to help governance? Because government put it in order. They bring about peace. If there's no peace, we can't come together. Then come to the environment. The environment. How do we take care of our environment? The land is not our own. God has given it to us, and we have to take care of it and make sure that we leave it for other generations to come and take over. So how do you even treat yourself, or maybe take care of your environment, the outside environment? These days we've been hearing of galamsey, and other things. So we are, by this, telling our people that they shouldn't involve in some of these things.
Chairperson of the ANGRBC and head pastor of the Faith Fundamental Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Timothy Seidu, expressed concern over the rate of illegal mining in the country, which he will want Ghanaians to refrain from.
So our water body should not be polluted, whether it's seawater, whether it's our rivers and our streams. And then especially in this regard, these days, we have the problem of galamsey. And then galamsey has come to be more a harm to our economy than the good we desire to get out of it, because we end up polluting our waters, and just apart from the muddy nature of the waters, we have mercury and other heavy lead cast into the water, and we will end up drinking these chemicals that will be hurtful to us, or they will get onto the soil and then get into our plants, and we will consume those plants, and we will have difficulty with our health.
Reverend Dr. Timothy Seydou urged Ghanaians to cultivate the habit of tree planting as a way of replenishing the depleted forest.
We need to find a way to revamp the forest. If you cut a tree, try to plant the tree. You may say, oh, it's in the forest far away. How can I plant a tree right in the forest? Well, you can plant a tree in the front of your house. You replace it at a different place. But that is taking care of the earth. If we all cut trees and we don't plant, then we'll run out of trees and we'll have problems with our oxygen supply.
Head pastor of the World Regular Baptist, Reverend Aquila Dramani, also hammered on the issue of wanton destruction of the environment, but his focus was tilted towards the youth.
Guide against and caution our youth and our people that we should stay away from that. Christians need to protect the environment. Christians are the custodians of what God has given us. God tells us that we are the people to subdue and have dominion over the earth. It means that we should make good use of the earth and the things that God has given us. So I call upon our people to know that since we are the children of God, we need to keep what God has given us.
Some of the members of the church shared their thoughts on the conference.
We are so grateful that we have met as a family, as people of God, together to give thanks to God.
What I learned today at our women's side was that it is about the talents God has given to us. How we are to use these talents to enhance ourselves and also to be an encouragement unto others.
Reporting for the news, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Now, away from the Upper West region, for decades, the rainy season meant isolation for communities such as Arano in the Techima North District as floodwaters submerged roads and cut residents off from essential services. Repeated appeals for intervention went unanswered, deepening years of frustration. However, a promise made just 3 months ago has delivered a remarkable turnaround. In just 90 days, a newly constructed bridge now spans the once impassable stretch, replacing floodwaters with steady movement and renewed hope. There's more in the following report.
This is the new sound of progress here in Arano. But for over 30 years, the sound here was one of frustration. Since 1992, communities like Arano, Jama and Misedine felt forgotten, their roads and bridges crumbling, their connection to other parts of the district severed every time it rained.
How can you say usu twankasa and so ne roads no ekwa amanfo fie ntina ntimi emabimokura wa bontim ntimi san mrafie obi nso fie a eden se obepie ntina e how pa na e haye e okrodua yi
e how de bebro ntutuo ene even most especially so mo nso ka ye easy ho so ntimi sure se na obia kokompa na ye den.
Their cries reached their Member of Parliament, who also doubles as the Trade Minister, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ajare. She promised action, and in a break from the past, action came swiftly. What has happened since has given the entire area a massive facelift.
Sanya omatumia brains na nina efa baby a ekogu gates ne oda yimu no aboaye e de ani bebre abakuri mu.
Just 3 months ago, contractor MJB and his team arrived. In 90 days, they have delivered what decades could not, a massive infrastructural facelift. The critical Arano Bridge now stands firm with extensive drainage networks snaking through the communities, promising an end to the annual floods.
Hotel,
the structure is more than concrete and steel. It is a symbol of reconnection, and today, the very MP who championed it is here on a surprise visit. Not just to monitor, but to share in the community's palpable joy.
You saw Arano before this construction. If it rains, people of Arano could not cross from Arano to Kenteng and vice versa. I didn't think this was fair. Every year I'll try to put some temporary measures in place because, my government was not in power and there was not much that I could do. So I assured them that once Excellency John Dramani Mahama comes, their roads will be fixed. You see, the bridge is done within 2 months.
Her vision extends beyond just solving the flood problem. She sees this as a catalyst for a new future. Upon completion, the plan is to plant trees along these streets to beautify the community and to actively combat climate change.
There's going to be an innovation. This is Techiman North. We will always set the pace. So we've decided that with all the road construction that's going to go on, we're going to plant trees along the road to make it beautiful. Also, the ozone layer depletion, we know the climate change issues. Techiman North wants to take a very bold step.
The MP's vision extends beyond mobility. She sees a road that will revive economic activity and put money in the pockets of the people.
See, they change the economy of this area. We can cut our produce to the farm and all of that. So I think that this, in effect, will help.
The official timeline from the Bono East Feeder Roads Department is 18 to 24 months. But the regional manager admits the starting pace is a game changer.
Work is to be delivered within 18 to 24 months. That's the completion period. But so far, what the contractor has even done is beyond 50% in less than 3 months. So we say we are ahead of schedule.
In Techiman North, the narrative of neglect is being rewritten at an unprecedented pace. The promise was a road, but the foundation being laid here is for a renewed hope, commerce, and a community finally in control of its own destiny. For Joy News, I am Anas Sabit in the Techiman North constituency.
Let's do some business stories now. Fuel prices are set to drop by as much as 3% at the pumps from today. The projection is contained in the latest Outlook report, which guides pricing of oil marketing companies in the country.
We do not respond to pressure. We do not respond to speculation. And we do not respond to sentiment. We respond to evidence. We respond to risks, and we respond to the medium-term outlook for price and financial stability. Second, we prioritize stability over speed. In rebuilding credibility and restoring order, quick fixes in many cases are rarely durable. Our focus has been on policies that can be sustained even when they are uncomfortable in the short term. Third, we operate an institution not as individuals. Central banking is collective. It is disciplined work, and decisions are taken through established frameworks, informed by analysis, debates, and yes, we do have lots of debates in-house, as well as professional judgment.
The CEO of Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, has welcomed the establishment of a 12-member presidential advisory group on the economy, describing it as laudable. However, he cautioned against overestimating the role of the advisory board, emphasizing the need for tangible actions to drive economic growth. Mr. Jackson spoke to Joy Business.
But it's important we understand the relevance of the price floor and why it was introduced in the first place. So if you recall, 2 years ago, the discussion about unfair price undercutting and unfair market practices came up. And this was because we had done an assessment of the price regulation policy since it was implemented in 2015. And one of the major concerns that came up from both the oil marketing companies and the board switching companies at the time was price undercut. We must understand that in as much as the market is regulated, the regulator MPA is there to protect both the consumer and the petroleum service provider, which is the oil marketing company in this case. if we don't have fair from the competition on the market and the market collapses, we are going to struggle as an economy. And therefore, the regulator's job is to ensure that there's what we call full cost recovery of investments. So there's a policy, that there's a pricing formula that is used by all marketing companies. And in this formula, there are certain components that all marketing companies control, and there are certain components they have no control over. So if you look at that formula, you realize that there's the FOB price and world market price, which we have a way to determine that. There are other costs that are fixed and applied to all players. The new regulation actually allows the oil marketing companies to determine their own margins, and that is where the competition is.
And that's it for Business Updates, and that's how we wrap up AM News. Don't forget that if you want more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Denise Agyapong. Up next is sports.